Okay, welcome back to my Let's Play of Hexplore Sands of Shurax on Tabletop Simulator. Yeah, so I restarted. I kept the same, like, original map layout, but I refreshed my characters, I redealt some random stuff, and I restarted, and it's going much better this time. It's going much better this time because, primarily because I didn't hop immediately on the caravan. I think that's a big mistake. Don't hop immediately on the caravan, because the wastes are really where... The wastes, I think, are sort of your early game bread and butter of looking for places to complete quests or missions and getting up a few power-ups, getting up a few stats until you've like, okay, I've got money, let's head out. So, you know, I started right here, and there's an oasis right here, and oases are pretty nice because ending your turn there is a full heal to everything. So it's a full oh no, it's just full energy. It's not full health. But if you have a healer, I mean, it's pretty much the same usually. I actually don't have much of a healer, so it's a horse apiece. It also removes all conditions and afflictions on you, which is awesome. And 4 times per game, if you're at an oasis, you can refill your food, meaning each hero can take up to 20 food. Which basically, since you can only carry 5 times food up to 5 times your food rating, you basically are grabbing 5 meals essentially. But you can do that 4 times per game, so it's kind of nice. I also got pretty lucky with my mission arrangement here, because there are missions that you have to go to like a city-state for. Like this one, you have to go to Ferrora, and then you have to turn it in Nemesnet. So this is a big one. It pays 5 platinum, but it only gives 1 power-up. Whereas some of these quests, you know, a lot of them are just go to this hex, roll a couple successes on skills, and get 2 power-ups per character. And so I got lucky. These are the ones I did. I got 1 in a desert spot, and then 2 in silt seas. And in my starting area, there was a desert spot right there. And there was a silt sea spot. There actually was a highland spot as well. So I could have done this one, but I was running out of food, and I figured I could go back to the oasis, refill, and just do some more quests. But I'm gonna go to a city-state, and we'll mess around there. You see that there's a lot of crystals out there. You know, the Ravager shows up pretty quickly, pretty damn quickly, and he'll, you know, he'll just keep popping up every few turns after that in a new tile. He'll only go to a tile once. You know, if there's a crystal there, he won't go there. But then once half of the waste tiles have a crystal on it, he'll progress to Act 2, and then he'll pop up in a new space every other turn, and at that point he can actually go out of the waste. He can start popping up on the normal quadrants as well, so he can basically go wherever you are. Whereas if you explore a bunch of the waste real quick and then rush out of the waste back to the quadrants or over to the quadrants, you have some buffer space. You have some buffer time where you can roam around without being affected by the Ravager directly. But I managed to, it's not a big deal if he pops up even like on you. If he pops up on you, the worst thing is you have to move one space in a direction of your choice. But it's not like you're thrown into a fight with him or anything like that. The crystals aren't bad. You can harvest them, like I said, for some Ravager crystals. You have a chance... Actually, I don't even know if it's a chance. I think you do just get irradiated. So you can get mutated from that, if that interests you. And also, in the wastes, whenever you harvest a crystal spot in the wastes, you automatically get a power-up card. So that's sort of a nice benefit. So I think actually it probably is worth it. Especially with like an oasis right nearby. Unfortunately, this one destroyed that oasis, so it's gone. So I'd have to reveal another one. But if you have an oasis nearby where you can just auto heal all your energy, it's probably not the worst idea. The only problem is encounters. You don't want to move too much. Because some of these, I mean, if I went up against a skeletal dragon, I'd be pretty effed in the A. But overall, I managed to do pretty well for myself. I did 3 quests, like I said. So I ended up getting 6 power-up cards out of that. And let's see here. This one, I mean, you can see all of these. If you complete it normally, and if you complete it normally, you get pushed. Your reputation goes in the direction of this yellow squares. So it moves one space south, down. Then if you're in those squares, at the end of the quest, you get an extra 2 gold. Other than that, that's a relatively minor bonus, but it's a bonus. But you can see all of them have an optional part where you go against that. You basically go the opposite route. And so if you do it that way, it changes the parameters a little bit, and you get reputation in the opposite direction. Now, I was not clear. The rulebook was... I got a little upset about that, because the rulebook was really... It was one line of text that was basically like, oh, some cards... have an opposite reputation, and you can choose to do that instead. It doesn't say like, okay, do you get all the rewards just the same? It's literally the exact same. I think that's the case. That's how I ended up interpreting it. It's literally just, if I do, you know, this right side, I just replace this white square with this one. That's how I interpret it. Everything else is the same. So my reputation moves that way instead, and if I'm in those 2 squares, then I get the bonus. That's all I interpreted it, and that's how I'm going to interpret it. So for this one, you can see that if I did it normally, and I rolled a critical success during the survival test, I would have gained +1 to my energy rank for that hero. But also, based on the text here, it says that if I succeed on the quest, I camp here next turn. Meaning I have to camp here next turn in order to complete the quest. This side, the text is different. Instead of holding it for these people, which is what you're doing normally, you instead just burn it to the ground. So you don't have to camp there into the next turn, and if you roll a crit, instead of getting the energy, each hero gains 8 gold. You know what? I actually just reread that now. Yeah, I just reread that. I misunderstood that when I first read it, because this guy rolled the crit. I gave him the 8 gold, but both of them should have gotten it. Both of them should have gotten the 8 gold. All right, so that's good.
Yeah, so
This one, I think I did it normally, but I didn't roll a crit, so it's just whatever. This one I did normally, and I did roll a crit, and then you roll an energy stat test, and I think I succeeded on that, so I got 3 platinum from that, which was pretty sweet. And then I got this. As one of my circumstance cards, I discovered the ancient bridge. Basically, two of those quests were right on this spot, right here, the silt spot, and they were skill tests. And I ended up camping there for like 6 turns. It was maybe like 4 or 5 turns in a row. So I ended up discovering the ancient bridge there. And it says whenever you camp in this location, you get to roll all skill dice, and if anyone rolls a crit, you get 4 platinum. And I think, had I forgotten for a while that camping gives you a cumulative -1 to your skill checks each round if you continue to camp. So eventually I should have had like -5 to my rolls. I finally realized it on like the last turn I was there. So yeah, so I ended up getting that and getting another 4 platinum. So right now I have a nice total of 7 plat. But then I was like, all right, I'm good. I've got some money. I'm running out of food. I don't want to refill at the Oasis. Let's head back. So, all right, hold on. I hopped on the caravan with Vishti the Conqueror, and I ended up rolling the d4 to decide what city-state he's going to, and I rolled it was a 1. I don't know why it said 2. It was definitely a 1, because I was happy about it. To go to Ferrora. And I rolled with it. We only got 2 events. The first one I actually ended up completely nullifying, so that was good. And then the second one's terrible, because basically this is 6 + 3 per hero energy drain, so it was like 12. You reduce the energy drain you suffer by your food rating, but still, I mean, that's a big amount. And I only ended up reducing it from 12 to 8. But based on one of my character's abilities, I was actually able to nullify the caravan from taking that 8. So I ended the trip with full vitals. So I get the full vital reward, the full health reward, and the alive reward. So that was it was a great trip. Now, unfortunately, I don't have enough food to actually pay for all that, so I'm going to end up starving. So I can't spend energy while I'm starving. But since he didn't die, we made it straight to the city-state. If he does die on the way, you end up at the caravan location closest to the city-state. So I would have actually ended here. If I was going here, he would have gone here. It's usually on the board, on the sideboard. So you have to trek a little bit to get to the city-state. Yeah, and so that was all good. And I actually, on this one, I rolled the crit. So I found a survival kit, which is basically camping gear from the first version. So that's nice. And it was all well and good. So, let's look at our characters that I have here. I rolled these pretty much randomly. The roll was completely random. I think for the race, the first race I rolled for this, I think was Nixie, and I was like, fuck the Nixie. So I pulled another one, I got Sprite. And I thought that was a fun idea. It was a Sprite commander. So I named him Root, after Commander Root, who is not a Sprite, I believe. but it's close enough. We'll allow it. So sprites are very small, so they only have a food rating of 1. That's nice. And actually, food rating matters a lot more in this version than in the first one. In the first one, it was pretty much just like how much food you have to eat and how much food you can carry. But this version, and possibly the second one, I don't know, they had a lot more effects based on your size, which makes sense. So like this one, for the invading army, the energy drain was reduced by your food rating, by your size. Because just in a big brawl, it's assumed that the big, large, massive characters can handle themselves better than the little dudes. So whenever you see size matters, then that's affected. Now that could be a plus or a minus, but there's all sorts of effects that I've seen for size matters. Like right here, for this Vishti the Conqueror Caravan Master, if you ever draw a calm journey, his raiders grow bored and bully you. You suffer 8 energy damage reduced by your food rating. So, all sorts of cool stuff. Right, so Commander. It's pretty interesting. They're not really... They're an assist class, an assist role. For every 5 ranks in attack and defend, they get to look down the circumstance deck for the first, like... Oh, I did it wrong. Shit. I definitely did it wrong. Alright, this has been fun. Nah, I just reread it. Hold on. I just reread it. That makes way more sense, though. I'll explain what I did wrong in a second. Jesus. Okay. Yeah, that definitely would have affected things. Okay. Well, actually, now I don't even know if that might not be the one I'm supposed to get either. I don't know if monstrous humanoid counts as a humanoid. I would assume so. Most of this is monstrous humanoids. How many humanoids are there in the game? There's another one, the Cult Raiders. That's it. There's 3 humanoids in the deck. I can't imagine that monstrous humanoid isn't allowed, so we're going to allow it. Okay, so for every 5 ranks, he gets to search the deck for the next non-swarm, non-horde humanoid encounter and adds it to his armada. So what I had done was just taken the next non-swarm, non-horde encounter, which he was leading a molten tiger, which is a little broken. So now I understand that. Okay. I broke the game a little bit. I cheated. All that really would have meant is that I wouldn't have gotten the full vitals reward. That's really the only thing that would have happened differently. Right. So, yeah, his armada can be used to basically block damage. It's treated as an ally with the health and defense of their highest one. So it would be a 14 health, 8 defense. So on your turn, you can use bolster in order to have them block and heal. And you can also, at level 5, you can have them basically taunt and become the target of an individual attack. And you can use coordinated assault. Choose a humanoid in our armada to perform their attack action, with the damage boosted by half of the armada's level. The armada's level is equal to the combination of all their numbers, their level numbers, so it's a 4. plus plus every 3 ranks of bolster adds 1. So right now they're a level 5. So if I had the Desert Harpies attack, they would do the 5 damage here, and it would be boosted by 2. So they would do 7 damage as a dual target. So they would do 7 damage to 2 targets energy. But if they had at least half of their energy left, it would become energy drain, so it could also bleed into their health as well. Or I could have the outcasts do their attack, which would attack 2 targets for 4 for damage. And then if you get coordinated assault up to rank 6, you can then pick any action from your armada. So I could have them do this one. 4 damage, piercing to the entire group of enemies. Targets who are not at full health are trapped. I don't know if trap can affect... No, it can't. So there are some conditions that can affect any target, including enemies. Some that can only affect heroes. But as we go, as I level up command and formation, my attack and defense, we'll add some more humanoids to my armada, and it just becomes more and more powerful. The actual commander themselves, they can attack and defend. I mean, it's fine, but it's mostly about this armada that he's coordinating, because they can tank attacks, and also at rank 5, bolster may be used outside of combat to redirect all energy drain a target would suffer to the armada instead. So that's how I avoided energy drain hitting the caravan master, was just by spending 1 energy to redirect the drain to my armada instead. Oh, I guess I could have still... Yeah, no, I could have done it. I can fix this so I didn't cheat. Let me just edit these numbers. They have 14 health. They have 14 total health and 8 energy. The first hit that I took, that army would have sapped 8 of my energy, so I spent an energy to have them soak it. That would be all their energy. So they would be that. Then I would have them soak the caravan master's attack. So they would have taken 8 energy drain, which would have gone straight to their health, dropping them down to 6. So there's, you know, I'm still by the book. We're still okay now, because I never actually took them into combat. And if the armada is ever killed, you revive them at the end of the next turn. So his armada never goes away, which is great. Over on this side, we have a half-giant summoner named Gorg. It's not a reference to anything, I just thought it was a half-giant kind of name. Again, just random. So... half-giant's probably not your best bet for a summoner. But it's okay, actually. It's not the worst thing in the world. A summoner, in combat, they can use 1 energy to do Summoning Circle, where you get to pick an encounter that's on the board, on the circumstance board over here. You get to pick an encounter, such as, say, Skeletal Dragon. You then use that as an ally. It lasts for a number of rounds equal to half your Summoning Circle rank. So for me, that would be 3 rounds. You roll a die to determine its action. And if you do Summoning Circle again, well, you already have a summon, it becomes an individual target for the round. So normally it won't be targeted by anything, but you can make it be targeted. Well, it's not a taunt. You can't force it to be attacked, but it rolls a target die, so it might get attacked. And you can also use your attack during that round. If it dies, at duration end or the end of the combat, it gets discarded. And at rank 6, which is what I got now, your summon rolls a 6-sided dice extra damage. This die can explode. So it's basically like it always has the favored opponent damage. So yeah, I mean, if you summon the fucking skeletal dragon, it's pretty good. That's pretty good. If you summon something like Outcasts, it's not so great. You also get to increase the level of your summon by 1/3 your summoning circle rank. But I don't know really what that factors into. What does that mean, increase the level of your summon? I don't know. I mean, no, I don't know what that means. Invocation, the secondary mastery. You can only use it when you have a summon out there. It deals health damage to an opponent equal to Phantom Strike, so your attack, plus invocation rank, plus twice the level of your current summon. Okay, well there it matters. So, again, if I summon the skeletal dragon, not only will it attack every round, I could then use invocation to deal 18 damage by myself. And then at rank 5 invocation, you get to pick which attack your summon makes each round, or which action it takes each round. Yeah. 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 Not too shabby. What's that unyielding again? What is that? I have to... It's so lame they don't have a... Why do you not have a reference card for the key? Here, this is what I'm gonna do. This is what we're gonna do. This is just... There you go. There's your keyword reference. Jesus. Unyielding targets, maybe a target more than one. Oh my god. So if we're going up against one thing, and he does dual target unyielding health, it'll attack it twice for 9 damage. Plus I can do an additional 18 damage on top of that. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty good at this stage of the game. Besides that, Gorg, he got +6 health to start, so he's already up to a whopping 16 health. He did not get any energy benefits, so that's pretty darn low. His attack shot up from 1 to 5, but his invocation is still a sad 1. But honestly, aside from rank 5, being able to choose any action you want, invocation, I don't really care if it's that high. Okay. And then he didn't get any benefits to his skills, which is kind of hurt, but he's gotten some yummy benefits from that. And that's primarily for a couple reasons. Let me show you. So, Purity. Power-up cards with Purity on them mean that if your character doesn't have any mutations, you get to double the number. Or no, you get to add 1 to the number. Sorry. So this became a +3 Explore for him, which was pretty big. And then more importantly, these cards that say stash on them, basically when you get those, you can take it right away. You can just accept it, at which point you roll a d4, and if you roll a 4, you get +1 to the number. But you can also stash it aside, and then whenever you get more stash cards, you can stash them aside until you decide to take them and accept them. So when you stash them, you don't get the benefit right away. So I stashed 3 of these, at which point I rolled 3d4. And if any of them are 4s, all of them get +1 to the number. So big benefit to holding off on those stash cards. So that gave him another 2 health, 2 navigate, and 2 to his first mastery. It was quite beautiful. Yeah, so both are kind of interesting characters. You'll notice there isn't much healing going on there, which is theoretically a problem. You know, in combat, we're hoping that the allies take some damage instead of us, but I don't know how we'll really mitigate that. Gorg's trait is aggressive. So he has not advanced this at all because I have not gone into battle. Each time an opponent health falls to 0, ticks forward. Each time he gains a rank in aggressive, may choose to permanently reduce his defense rank by 1 and increase his attack rank by 2. And then at max rank, his basic attack ability deals piercing damage, which is great. Root is hypersomniac. He's a hypersomniac. He's progressed this quite a bit because it progresses whenever you camp. And like I said, I camped for a long time. So he's progressed this 7 times now. He's on rank 3. And when this lets him, whenever he camps, he heals additional vitals equal to the hypersomniac rank divided between health or energy. And at rank 6, he can negate all conditions affecting him whenever he camps. Yeah, that was just sort of luck of the draw. I got something really based around camping, and I ended up camping a lot. All right. I think we're good then. Yeah, I think we're good then. So we're starting a new turn. We're in the city. I have not accessed the city yet. I just arrived at the end of last turn. So I think actually we're gonna camp. I believe there's a rule where if you camp when you're in a city, you don't have to roll any of your encounter dice or your skill dice. Because it's assumed that you skip the skill phase when staying in a city state. You do not have to eat. Basically, you're not wandering. You manage to find a little food here, so you don't have to roll survival, but you don't have time to search for gold. So that's how they rationalize it, which is great. And I'd probably fucking put that rule in the first version as well, because it just makes sense. Why do I have to roll for survival when I'm in a city? All right. We also skip the circumstance phase, and we'll go straight to the event phase, but we do camp. So this goes to 16. This gets rejuvenated to 3. This gets rejuvenated to 8. And this actually ticks over to rank 4. There you go. All right, city. So we are in the city of Ferora, the free city of knowledge. So for gear upgrades, we can do the first, second mastery, and then the 3 skills. Turn in your experiences. Okay. Oh, okay. Hold on, let me make this fucking bigger. Hold on. It's too small, man. Alright. Okay, so the way that I'm interpreting this is that if we've had an experience killing a boss, we would tick that box. We've had experience on a caravan journey. Hold on, lock that. So we can actually tick that. We did make a discovery of that bridge. I did actually have an encounter. Turn in your experiences up to once per game turn. I'm not really sure what that means. Can I only tick one box per turn? I'd have to spend, like, no, that would be stupid. I'm not sure how what they mean exactly by that, but I did do an encounter. I said I didn't go into combat. That's a little bit of a lie. I did go into combat with, actually, that should be shuffled back in. These scarabs. This wasn't a normal combat. This was a swarm combat. And so you'll see it doesn't have health or energy. Instead, it has an outlast number, 3 + 1 per hero. So you're not trying to kill the swarm, per se. You're trying to outlast it. Because it's a swarm of scarabs. And so instead of doing attack actions or anything like that, you're instead doing skill checks each round. And if you succeed on the skill check, it reduces 1 from the outlast number. If you crit, it reduces 2 from the number. And at the end of every round, it auto reduces by 1. So no matter what, it will end within 5 rounds. But, you know, if you get those successes or crits, it goes a lot faster. Then, if you succeed on one of those skill rolls, and the enemy does one of these types of attacks, if you succeed on a survival roll, he does a survival attack, you're immune to it for that turn, so that's nice. But if not, and he does this attack, you have to roll a survival. If you fail, you'd suffer 2 piercing health damage. So it's an odd encounter. It's an odd type of encounter. It's not really a combat. I didn't use my summons or anything like that because they would be useless. And this is the easiest swarm encounter in the game, so it really was not that big of a deal. But I did do it. It does count. Okay. Missions. I did 3 missions. So we can do 1, 1, and 1. Nature and mutations. I did have a nature effect. I will prove it to you. I haven't had any mutations, but I did have a nature effect. It was freezing winds. We each gained a food before each skill phase, but this is where your size made things worse. It added your food rating to all your navigate and exploration rolls while in the wastes. And it was actually pretty shitty because I was doing a lot of skill checks for quests, for missions. So it was pretty shitty, but you see it's a nature card, so I experienced it. Okay, that's that all filled in. So I did have 2 experiences of one type of missions. So each hero gains 1 power-up card. Let's dish that out. And I did see you're not supposed to just hold on to all your power-up cards. They are supposed to go to like a discard. Because there was a rule somewhere. I don't know where it is now. But I did see it somewhere that mentioned being penalized for something for every time you shuffle the power-up deck or something like that. So I think if you go through it, then you're supposed to reshuffle the discard to refresh it. I believe that's how it's meant to work. All right, Root gets +2 attack, but it's a purity card. He is pure. He's pure as the driven snow, so he gets +3 to his attack. That's big, baby. That's big shit. Because then I'm 1 away from getting another card added to my armada, which is great. Gorg gets +2 to his navigate, and it's a purity, so he gets +3. Yeah, purity is big. I mean, there's definitely a strong benefit to staying pure and not getting mutated. So ultimately, I'm pretty glad that I decided to resist that mutation. Oh no, that was the last character, but trying to think if I had an opportunity. No, maybe I had a mutation chance on this one. Either way. Okay, so that was that. All right, danger, justice. Check the group's reputation at the end of each event phase spent in Ferora. If it's either cruel or corrupt, face the Feroran guards at level 4. Instead of fighting them, you may let them escort you out of Ferora. If you do, roam twice outside of the city-state. Holy shit, that's pretty bad, because I think I am in that category. Yup. I wasn't to start. I was actually doing pretty good. I was very righteous. I was like here. But because I traveled with a corrupt caravan master and I helped him out with 2 events, I moved 2 spaces in that direction. So now I'm in the cruel range. I don't know if there's a whole lot I can do about that. Okay, I can be employed, and I want to be employed anyways, because that's the mission. So, all right, city-states. They're different than cities in Valley of the Dead King. In city-states, every character can do 1 city-state action. So, and this is actually a typo here, but as 1 action, you can choose to do schooling and sparring, and that's where you get to purchase gear upgrades. Second, this is supposed to read employ. You can perform an occupation to earn gold. And that's what we just saw there. Third, you can become a gladiator and participate in the arena in order to increase your fame and possibly win some money. And then Scarabs is the gambling. You can play a game of chance, betting on dice results to increase your wealth. Yeah, so I mean, we're going to be spending a couple turns here because I want to show you all that shit. So, let's... well, somebody's being employed. You'll see here, this is going to pay 2 gold. It's not a skill check or anything like that. I mean, other city-states might be, but this isn't a skill check. It just pays 2 gold. Unless you're an assist or healer class role, in which case you get an extra 6. Because you're working as an orderly to help the sick and tend to the poor. So, makes sense, right? So, Root is going to work as an orderly. And if anyone was employed here at the end of the turn, we get to move our reputation 1 towards Ferora, which is pretty good. I think that will save us from being kicked out, because we'll be on the line. So that's good. That's good. There's also some items to purchase here. Comfortable inn. Our reputation doesn't match Ferora because we'd be on... Well, right now it definitely doesn't. And even then we'd be on the line. So that'd be 2 gold to heal us to full, but I think we're fine. Camping is pretty great either way. I mean, there's really no reason you can't get the camp benefit. Yeah. Yeah. So, we don't really need the inn. Baroran Parchment. Can use that after beating an opponent. And when you bring it back to Ferrara, you gain a favored opponent against that type. Transmutation lets you either give a mutation to someone else or remove it from play. Dreamcatcher costs 6 gold and 2 platinum. While camping, you may look at the next 3 circumstances in the circumstance deck. You may discard or replace up to 3 open ones with any of the drawn cards. Oh, it's not terrible. Quill of Kismet. Write your own destiny. Once per game turn, each hero may discard a card they've drawn and draw another. I mean, you don't draw many cards. You know, you could draw from this deck sometimes. I think that would count for maybe caravan events, maybe? Yeah, I'd probably allow that if it was my table. Probably missions I'd allow. When you draw a new mission, I'd probably allow you to just dump it and redraw if you want. And mutations, definitely, and power-ups, definitely. So, it's got some uses. Cleansed Crystal costs 6 Ravager Crystals. Which you embed into an opponent to deal 10 piercing energy damage each round, or reduce its outlast value by 2 each round. Or they can also be used to raise the group's energy by 10. It's a permanent use thing. It's not one-time use. So you put this in every enemy. You have to use it with a defend action, but still, it's pretty good. If I had 6 crystals, that'd be something to buy. So now, yeah, okay. So anyways, Root is gonna be doing the employment stuff. I think we're gonna have Gorg train. He'll be doing gear. Can you... Oh, here. Camping in a city state does not grant skill bonuses, but it does heal the heroes normally. So that's great. It doesn't say... Oh, okay, yes. So you can purchase all the items from the bazaar as well while we're here. So you can actually spend 4 per hero to start a caravan journey from here. Instead of walking over to the caravan spot. Dust Skimmer increases movement speed by 1 hex per turn, including moving cautiously. And you treat Silt Sea hexes as normal terrain. That's good. Extraction tools let you gain 2 additional Ravager crystals when mining a crystal tower, and gain 1 every time you move through an ancient crystal deposit. Refilling water skin for 3 platinum. Raises 2 energy before the movement phase and negates the effect of heat exhaustion. That's probably worth buying. Resurrection contract. It revives all dead heroes, or the next time any heroes die, they're revived after the event phase. Also not bad. I'm going to buy that refilling water skin. Guaranteed. So let's mark that on our shit. So that means, just to be clear, we raise 2 energy before the movement phase. That means that we restore 2 energy, we heal 2 energy at the start of every round. And if we're already at max, it goes up by 2 for that round only. So I can't quite just raise my energy by 2. It doesn't quite work that way. It's a little, there's a little bit more bookkeeping than that, which is kind of annoying. Yeah, it's a little bit more bookkeeping than that. Okay, but still, it's good. All right. So I have 20 bucks on Gorg. What do I want to spend it on? Summoning Circle is pretty good. I think bumping up his energy is a good way to go. Bumping up his survival is going to be a necessity, though, because he consumes 4 fucking food if he fails. So we're definitely going to be bringing that up by 2 ranks for 9 bucks. Then let's bring up his energy to 8 by spending another 5. 8, and this would go to 5. 6 left. I definitely need to buy some food. So the thing is, though, if I'm gonna be here for a little bit, if we get our reputation up above this line, then we get the benefits from the city, where we get all items costing 1 less. Yeah. So I'm gonna hold off on buying the food just yet, because I'm hoping we'll get there. Yeah. They're also both starving, so they're gonna have to pay for that as well. Okay, so that's that. Employ, he gets 2 plus 6, so he actually gets 8 gold. That's nice. I mean, you could just sit here and make money. You can just do that every round. And once I flip over into across that line of reputation, I get an additional plus 2 bucks. He'd be gaining 10 bucks a turn. Not too shabby. Not too shabby at all. All right, so that's that. Let's move our reputation so we avoid getting kicked out. Yep. Yep. All right, good. Then the villain phase occurs with the Ravager. He is going to ravage this quadrant. So we're gonna roll the d6 to determine where. It's a 1. I don't think that's good. Oh, it's okay. It's over here. So he's ravaging that. We're in Act 2 now, so he always ravages wherever we are. Unless there's already a crystal there. Alright, we're gonna camp again. So technically my energy would go up to 10. Or it would go up by 2. So we camp, we heal, and then we go up to 10. Okay. We skip basically everything else, and we go straight to the city phase. We're gonna have Gorg work here. Really just for the purpose of raising our reputation. But this mission I forgot about. Arbiter costume employs eyes and ears everywhere. It isn't a surprise then when you're approached by a high-ranking member of the city's guard. They want you to spy on someone. You may only perform this mission in Ferrora. Become employed there, then roll any die, once for each hero who is employed. For each odd result rolled, you gain a valuable secret for your employer. After learning any number of secrets, the group must face the Ferroran guards. Roll a d4 for their level, with their spelled incorrectly. This mission must be turned in at Nebsnet. Gain the reward a number of times equal to the number of Ferroran secrets you obtain while this mission remains active. Alright, so let's roll a die. We can roll any die. And for each odd result... I don't think it really matters what die you roll, does it? I like the d6 though. It's good. It's a good roll. It's a classic roll. All right, we got a 2. So I do not gain a secret from Root working last turn. Which the writing there is a little vague yet again. After learning any number of secrets, you must face the Ferroran guards. Is 0 a number of secrets? I don't know. I think if they meant that, they would have said, regardless of the result, the group must face the, they would have said it that way. Wouldn't they? Why wouldn't you not word it that way? That's how we're interpreting it. All right, so this round, Georg works. So he's gonna gain just $2. And Root is going to be leveling up. He's got $25 to spend. We definitely want to bump one of these numbers up. Let's bump Command up. $4. That becomes a 9. $4. That means I get to add another card to my Armada. So a humanoid or monstrous humanoid. There you go. Mutated giant, baby. Ho, ho, ho! Wow. Okay. So now they have a 27 health, 8 energy. Oh, also they would be healing every time I camped. They would definitely have 6 energy back, and they'd be at 12 health, I think. Mutated giant. Oh my god. And damage you could do with that attack. Okay. Yep. So that's good. Then let's get coordinated assault up so that we can pick our Armada's action. Bump that up to 6 for another $4. Then let's bump up Bolster, because that will increase our Armada's level by another 1. Let me see here. Armada 7, 8, plus 2. Our Armada is level 10 now. Very nice. Very nice, man. So then their damage is boosted by 5. And each other hero's action rank gets boosted by that 5 as well whenever I do coordinated assault. Oh, it's so good. So that cost 4 again, so bring that down. We got navigate covered. I'm not worried about that. I'm not sure what else I really need to invest hard in. Probably some more formation. Coordinated assault at rank 9. Everyone can use your coordinated assault rank in place of one of their skill ranks when making a skill roll this round. Now, it does not say you can use it out of combat. That's not the point. But when you're doing like a swarm thing and you're making skill checks for that, that's really useful. So I guess let's work towards that. Let's bring this up to 7 for another 5. Whoops. And then I think nab another energy. Yeah. For $2, it's worth it. So that brings us up to 9 and 11. Okay, that's all good. I think we're done with that. So we're gonna... Oh, I spent platinum, didn't I? I spent 3. And then our reputation. Now we're in the money, baby. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Good. And now Gorg is in a roll to try and find a secret. He did. We have found one secret. So now we must face the Feroran guards, and we roll a d4 for their level. 2. So, guards are here. Let's make this bigger. Okay. Guards of encounter may be triggered in a multitude of ways and has a variable level and stats defined by the triggering event. Okay, so the guards of Ferora, because they're so righteous and just, they cannot be bribed. In every other place, we could just bribe them based on their level. So in like Drea, 1 plus their level of 2 here, we'd spend $3. And we'd bribe them, and then it would just end. But the Feroran guards cannot be bribed. We have to just outlast them. If at the end of the round all heroes are trapped and the guards have at least 1 outlast remaining, combat ends and the group may become imprisoned. So here, instead of becoming imprisoned, we get thrown out, and we have to immediately roam twice, which is pretty bad. It's almost worse, really. But, you know, they're only level 2. So, not too bad. The Outlast is going to be double the level +1 for each person in the group. I believe that's what that means. So we're looking at 6 Outlast. If we beat them, we get $2 each and 1 food. Okay. Not overly worried here. We're pretty capable of handling some shit. So combat starts. We have to make a declaration here. Again, this isn't a normal combat. I can't send in my summons and all that nonsense. We just get to do skill checks. So Again, if you succeed on the relevant skill check for their attack, you become immune to it. So we have much better odds if we pick one of our masteries. But this is energy. So it's an energy skill check against my number of 10, which means I basically auto-succeed, except on a 10, which is an auto-fail. That's pretty good. But since my first mastery is a 6, we'll go for that. We'll risk our biscuit. And we succeeded. So that's going to be 1 extra outlast done. 1 extra outlast damage, I guess. And if he rolls 3 through 6, we're immune to whatever shit he does. Yeah. Of course, Root is going to go for his coordinated assault of 7. He also succeeded. So that's another outlast damage done. Now we roll the d6 for them. They, of course, rolled a 1. Go figure. So now we have to do the energy test. If we fail, we suffer 3 piercing energy damage. If you get reduced to 0 energy, you become trapped. So yeah, as long as I don't roll a 10, yep, we're fine. As long as I don't roll a 10. I rolled a 10, of course. Yes. So I suffer 3 piercing energy damage. Yeah, not much I can say about that. Not the worst thing in the world. Alright, but then the outlast damage is done. We each got a success, so that's 2. Plus the 1 automatic. That's 3. So they're reduced from 6 down to 3. We just got to do that one more time and we're good to go. Let's do the summoning circle again. That was a critical fail. I don't think that matters for this purpose, but it is a failure. Oh, that's a 3, so that was a success. Okay, and he is doing a 1 again. Jesus. Alright, so Gorg, just don't roll a 10. He rolls a 10. Surprise, surprise. Root. Now he fails on over an 8. And he rolls a 6. So he succeeded. So now Gorg is going to suffer the 3 energy damage. We only did 2 outlast damage this turn, so he's got 1 left. Roll that summoning circle. Fail. Wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. There might be consequences for crit failing that. No. Okay. Oh, no, there's no consequence for crit failing. It's just a fail. And you're rolling coordinated assault. Also a fail. Jesus. Okay, so we just have to roll for whatever he's doing. Now he gets the 6. Those who fail suffer energy drain equal to twice the guard's level, become surrounded, and 1 target becomes trapped. Jesus. Okay, so we're rolling one of our masteries. So again, summoning circle. Fail. Surprise, surprise. Coordinated assault. Success. Okay, good. So Gorg is going to suffer 4 energy drain. The rest doesn't matter because we're about to win. So this goes down to 3. Okay, but then we win because the 1 auto outlast does its job. So that's it. We gain 2 gold each and 1 food. 1 food. Done. Alright. That's the end of the event phase. Villain phase. This guy goes away. And we put a crystal there. This goes on until... I'm not sure when this goes on till. When does Act 3 kick in? When there are 12 or more remnants on the board, or if you cannot place one on the board. Oh, yikes. That's not that far off. Because he'll go to these other 3 quadrants, and then if I don't reveal anything else, that's basically it. So then Act 3 triggers, and then every turn we suffer corrosive energy drain equal to half the number of remnants in play. I don't think it ever forces the encounter, though. I don't think so. Oh, he can appear on the quadrants more than once. Okay, that makes more sense. Okay, so then, yeah, he could keep he can just continue to ravage the fuck out of this area. Because he can appear here, then here, then here, here, and finally, he could appear here right on the city. I mean, he could appear there next turn, you know, and this city would be destroyed. So we're playing the odds a little bit by sitting around here. Okay. Next phase, next round, we're gonna camp. So I gain back my energy I lost, and then I raise it by 2. Gorg has the survival gear, so he gains 1 from that, 3 from camping. So he goes back up to 7. Then it raises him by 2, so he's technically at 9. I believe. Then we have... we're back to the city phase. Let's buy our food. We got 10 bucks. Food costs 1 less. Because we got that sweet reputation, even though we just beat up their guards. Or we ran away from them, I guess, but that's all fine. So -1 item cost means that food costs 1 gold per 5 units. Gorg is going to buy 20 units of food, so that costs 4 bucks. And he's loaded. Root can only carry 5, so that'll just be 1 buck. Carry 5. And then, since my reputation aligns, let's go ahead and spend 1 gold. And that'll get his armada back to full. So they're at full stats. Then we have our actual action for the turn, which is going to be gambling and the arena, and we'll get to that next time. I know we didn't do a whole lot this time, but we're getting there. Alrighty. My name is Mangg. Game watching has been Hexplore, The Sands of Shurax. I'll see you fine folks in the next part.